Hello, this is a special edition of Daily Wisdom from Proverbs. Today, we're looking at 7 types of Proverbs, 7 different ways that the Proverbs are written. And by looking at these 7 types, it'll help us better understand them, better apply them to our lives. Now, way back on day 10, when we went through Proverbs 10, we started this. So I'm going to give a quick refresher of what we talked about then and then go over the rest of them. First, we have the contrasting or opposite type of proverb. It's where it will give some wisdom in the first half of the verse or the first half of the proverb, because sometimes it may cover more than one verse. And then in the second half of the verse, it gives what the opposite looks like. Oftentimes, but not all the time, the first part is separated with the word but. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Proverbs 10, verse 12 says, hatred, what does it do? It stirs up strife. But love, what does it do? It covers all offenses. Proverbs 11:19. Whoever is steadfast in righteousness, what will they do? They will live. But he who pursues evil will die. It's the opposite. One more of the contrasting or opposite type of Proverbs. Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man, what does he do? He listens to advice. So that's the first kind. That's the contrasting or opposite type of proverb. Now the second type is where we have it's amplifying or echoing what's said in the first part. So again, it looks like a 2-part proverb, but instead of contrasting, now it's expanding or amplifying. So here's some examples. Proverbs 16:28. A dishonest man spreads strife, and a whisperer separates close friends. So a lot of times the second half will have the word and gives more detail on the beginning. But it doesn't have to have an and. Look at this example from Proverbs 16:17. The highway, I like that word, the highway of the upright turns aside from evil. Whoever guards his way, that highway, preserves his life. So no and in the middle, but you can see it's a continuation and an amplification of the first thought. Here's another one, which is proof that it doesn't just have to be one verse. There's a 2-verser, Proverbs 24, verses 3 and 4. One thought, it's by wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it's established. By knowledge the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. So that's the second type of proverb. It's that amplifying or echoing type proverb. Now the third type we see frequently in the book of Proverbs, and these are just single, short, wise statements. These are like little golden nuggets of wisdom. So Proverbs 17:28, for instance, says, even a fool who keeps silent is considered wise. When he closes his lips, he's deemed intelligent. Just a little wise saying there. Proverbs 14:12, there's a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. Proverbs 17:16, why should a fool have money in his hand to buy wisdom when he has no sense? Now, sometimes the writers of Proverbs, when they give us these short little wise statements, they will give us a little additional explanation on top of it. And that's our fourth type of proverb. It's a wise statement, but it's a wise statement with some additional explanation. So for instance, I'll give you one example of this. There's many more. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron. And we go, well, yes, we know that. Thank you. So, and then he goes on to say, and one man sharpens another. The second half of that verse explains the first half of that verse, that wise statement. The fifth type of proverb we have is a comparison or a metaphor. So that usually has the word like in it. This is like that, or that's like this. So for instance, Proverbs 11:22, like a gold ring in a pig's snout. What a crazy picture that is. Well, that's what a beautiful woman without discretion is like. Got it. Proverbs 10:26, like vinegar to the teeth and smoke to the eyes. What are those? Those are things that are irritating, right? Well, so is the sluggard to those who send him. Lazy person, when you send them on an errand or when you ask them to do something for you, it's irritating. Proverbs 28:15, like a roaring lion or a charging bear is a wicked ruler over a poor people. So you get the idea. That's a comparison or a metaphor. Here's the last two. Number 6 is A descriptive list. Now, we've already seen some of these in Proverbs, like Proverbs 6, verses 16 and 19 says there are 6 things that the Lord hates. No, wait, 7 are an abomination to him. And it lists them out: haughty eyes, lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness that breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. Another good example of that, Proverbs 30, 18 and 19. 3 things are too wonderful for me. 4, I don't understand. The way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a serpent on a rock, the way of a ship on the high seas, and the way of a man with a virgin. Finally, the last type, my personal favorite. These are if-then statements, and sometimes they're spelled out as or else type wise statements. I'll give an example from Proverbs 3, 9 and 10. It says, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then, if you do the first part, then your barns will be filled with plenty and your vats will be bursting with wine. Proverbs 2, 1 to 5 is a multiple part if-then statement. My son, if, number 1, you receive my words and treasure up my commandments within you, make your attentive to wisdom, incline your heart to understanding. Yes, if, he says again, if you call out for insight, raise your voice for understanding. Verse 4, if, another time he says it, if you seek it like silver and search for it as hidden treasures, the payoff comes in verse 5. Then, if you do all those things, then you'll understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. Love the if-then Proverbs. But similarly, in the same category, we have the or else Proverbs. These are things, don't do this or else something bad will happen. For example, Proverbs chapter 20, verse 13 says, love not sleep, lest you come to poverty. If you love sleep too much, you're going to wind up being poor. Proverbs 25, 17, let your foot be seldom in your neighbor's house, lest, what's the consequence? Lest he have his fill of you and hate you. Don't be a bad neighbor who spends too much time in your neighbor's house. So those are the 7 types of Proverbs. And I hope as we continue on through this study together, and more importantly, as you continue to read these, even after this month is over, and make a habit out of getting daily wisdom from Proverbs, keep looking for those 7 different types. One verse might be multiple types, and sometimes one proverb may cover multiple verses. But the point is, the better we understand it, the more we can apply it to our hearts, the more daily wisdom from Proverbs becomes a lifestyle for us. God bless you.